Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we're going to be talking about drag gesture. So basically, drag gesture is another gesture that you can apply on SwiftUI views, where you actually allow your user to drag that object around in context of another view. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look how we can actually do that. So I have this file open, so we can actually create an image. And we will actually use one of the image that we have for Tepteki logo, and we're going to use that to drag around. So I'm going to make it resizable, give it a frame, and to get some offset. So we're going to use this offset value to actually move the object around. And what we can do is we can create a state variable to track where our object or where our view is going, so we can bring it back to the original position. So we can say CG size, and this is going to be 0. So I can use that offset value to set when we are dragging our view around. So we're going to simply say, excuse me, we're going to say scale to fit, and then we're going to add some shadow, and let's add 20 radius shadow. Then we will say gesture, drag gesture. And drag gesture takes minimum distance and coordinate space. There are two coordinate space. There is a local coordinate space, and there is a global coordinate space. A local coordinate space means your movement that you're going to be calculating is basically in the local space of the view that is present within that coordinate space, and global is basically global in the container view. In most of the cases, local is actually going to be fine for you, so you can actually just leave that property as is, and by default it takes local as the value. Minimum distance, you're going to say 10 for the drag to take effect. On change gives us value, and this value contains, so you see, if you say offset value, so drag gesture dot value dot, it contains a few properties like current location of the view, predicted end location. So it's going to be a CG point of predicted end location where the final location for the dragging object will be. Predicted end translation, so basically the translation between the current, the last known position and the current position. So basically the translation between those two. Start location, wherever the start location was. Time it took to basically, that's associated with the current event it took for that translation to happen, and the translation, the actual translation that took place between the last drag point to the current drag point. So we're going to use that translation value to actually set our offset. And what we can do is we can, wherever our on change ends, we're going to say use on ended. Okay, and on ended gives us value as well, but we're actually going to not use that. We're going to just say underscore, and what we can do is, instead we can say self dot offset is equal to CG size dot 0 to bring our view back when the drag gesture is done taking place. Okay, this actually snaps our view back into the position where it was, and we're going to add animation into this because it actually makes it look rather easy. Instead of snapping one location to another, it takes a little bit of time to do that, or basically it takes an animation to fill those gaps of dragging feature. Okay, so let me show you what we've got so far. So if I open Canvas and resume, you're going to notice that we have this view, and let's play. Okay, so now we can take this view and basically we can move it around. So as you can see, we have this nice animation of this logo following our location, and if I let it go, it actually snaps back to its position. Now you can actually, if you don't want that delay, you can simply say linear, and it's going to basically snap back. So like that. And basically on-ended also calls is also called when your gesture or your finger goes out of the screen bounds. So as you can see, I'm actually moving my finger out of the screen, and as soon as I'm doing that, the view is snapping back to its position. Okay, so that was it for this video. We're going to take a look at a few more examples in upcoming videos to see how drag gesture works, and there are different properties I want to actually talk about. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at another example of drag gesture where we're going to see how to compute speed of dragging, and we're going to do some change some properties of the view depending upon the speed of the drag. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.